Anyone who's followed our Prestige collection will of course know that if anyone is going to find a fantastic Jaguar XF, it's us, and this is another prime example of why these continue to be our most beloved cars and certainly our most in-demand cars. This is a 2013 facelift generation, so of course right in the sweet spot, and being of course an R-Sport version of the 2.2 litre diesel, what that means for those who are less familiar with the XF is this is quite literally the most economical engine you can actually get in one of these generation cars, as high as 58 miles to the gallon average, and of course that's not on the motorway. On the motorway it's even better, as high as 64, which is astonishingly good for a car which at the end of the day is not small. It's certainly a spacious machine, it's well equipped, and it's not like it's a small engine either, so to have that kind of efficiency is very impressive from these executive class cars. Even its yearly road tax is fantastic as well, £165 a year, which these days is nothing in comparison to what so many seem to be, hundreds upon hundreds of pounds more per year than that, and of course being finished in carnelian red with jet black R-Sport interior. It is a lovely car to look at, be it inside and outside, and of course being a Jaguar, it's a lovely car to sit in as well. It's very well equipped, which we'll touch on in just a second. In terms of its condition though, as you can see, it's fantastic inside and out. In fact, it's covered 22,000 less miles than the average for one of these on the market. In fact, it's just kissed 75,000 with a full service history behind it as well. In fact, it was most recently serviced in November, barely 3,000 miles ago, so it's the definition of good to go. In fact, its most recent keeper had the car for 8 years, so obviously it served them very, very well, as these cars continue to do for quite literally hundreds of people within our collection alone, let alone worldwide. To return to the point of its kit, of course, being an R-Sport, that means the more aggressive visual package, the great looking wheels on these as well. It has of course parking sensors, reverse camera, the kind of usual accoutrement that you would expect. In other words, blind spot assist, of course cruise control, xenon lights at the front with LED day runners and LED lights at the back as well. Dual zone climate control, of course built-in navigation with touchscreen display, Bluetooth and auxiliary inputs. Across the board, these are very well equipped, and they're the kind of cars which you can quite literally have as a family car, runabout, a motorway cruiser, a holiday car, or even an executive car, all rolled into one. That really is the beauty of this platform, and it's no wonder why people love them so much. The real cherry on the cake though is of course the price, because this car, even with the full history behind it, fantastic condition, 22,000 less miles, including of course the option of low deposit finance if you wanted to make use of it, under £7,500 for what was, in the case of these, well in excess of 40, sometimes 50 plus £1,000 cars. If then you were perhaps less familiar with the XF, well now you can probably understand just why people would adore these cars so much. Something which looks and feels and drives as good as these do, but with fantastic fuel economy, excellent efficiency, all of its costs, they can rival a hatchback or a city runabout these days, and with that in mind, what is not to love? So of course this car is as always not going to stick around for very long, and we would of course recommend reaching out regarding it sooner than later because of that. You can do so via the email address of course here on screen, or give us a call on 01749 871155 or via our mobile number of 07482 267 439.